9.6, example 1. Let angles A, B, and C be acute angles. Use a calculator to approximate the measures of the angles A, B, and C to the nearest tenth of a degree. So first of all, before we get our calculator out for letter A, I want to take a look at what this is actually talking about. So I'm going to draw a right triangle over here. I'm going to make this A. I'm going to make this B. I'm going to make this C. Now, it's telling us that the tangent of angle A, so that means we must be referencing this angle. And it's also giving us the tangent. So if we think of TOA here for a minute, tangent, that's the opposite over the adjacent. Well, when I do that ratio, I get 0.75. Now, 0.75, if I think of that as a ratio, would be 3/4. So I know the opposite side must be 3, and I know the adjacent side is 4. But the question comes in is, well, what's angle A? So what measure does angle A have to be so that my opposite side is 3 when my adjacent side is 4? So really what I'm trying to find is that angle measure. So the way we do that is we're going to use an inverse trigonometric function. Keep in mind, inverse trigonometric functions are only used to find a missing angle. You never use them to find a missing side. So solving the equation. Here's A. I want to get A by itself. I need to get rid of the tangent. You cannot just divide a tangent off both sides. It doesn't work that way. So in order to get rid of it, I'm going to put parentheses here. I'm going to put parentheses here. I'm going to take an inverse tangent of the left, and if I do it on the left, I have to do it on the right. Keep in mind, an inverse tangent is also an arc tangent. So what's going to happen? The arc tangent or inverse tangent is going to cancel the tangent. And then A is going to be all by itself. On the other side, you took the inverse tangent of 0.75. Now, at this point, this is what you're going to put in your calculator. So, if you hit your trig button, which is right below your control button, you should see the little tangent with the -1, just like you do on your paper. Click that guy, type in 0.75, and hit Control Enter. If you did everything correctly, you should get A equals 36.87. And typically when we're dealing with angles, because it's an angle measure, I prefer you round to the nearest degree. So I'm going to round that up to 37 degrees, which tells me in my picture right there, that angle must be 37 degrees in order to get a tangent of 3/4. Letter B. So we could do the same thing, we could go through the picture, but really what I'm asking you is what angle does B have to be in order to get a sine ratio of 0.87? So, same thing. In order to get rid of a sine, you can't just divide it off. We're trying to get B by itself. So, both sides, we're going to take an inverse sine of the left. So we're going to take an inverse sine of the right. Sine, inverse sine cancel each other. B drops out. Now we have the inverse sine of 0.87. Grab your calculator, hit your trig button, find your inverse sine, type in 0.87, Control Enter. So B, we're finding an angle measure here, so I'm getting like 60.45. I'm going to round that to the nearest degree. 60 degrees. Letter C. Cosine of C, 0.15. Same thing as before. You want to get C by itself? The way you get rid of a cosine, you take an inverse cosine. If you do it on the left, you have to do it on the right. Cosine cancels inverse cosine. C drops out. Then you have the inverse cosine of 0.15, and then grab your calculator. So trig, inverse cosine, 0.15, and then C is approximately 81 degrees.